Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie and I am 38 weeks pregnant, and this video is all about preparing for a home birth. So this is my second birth. I'm a mum to a 4-year-old already called Constantin. I will link his birth video up for you so that you can go back and watch that. That's from a long time ago, nearly 4 years ago. And I put it up as a positive birth story, having done hypnobirthing, but it definitely wasn't the birth that we were planning for. It was quite complicated. I was hospitalized. Looking back, we feel like the hospital didn't really know what to do with me. And because of our hypnobirthing, we did manage to make it feel like a positive birth experience. But we know so much more now that we feel like there are lots of things that they kind of got wrong, and it's made us feel differently about how we'd want to go about birth this time. And so this time we are hoping for a home birth, which is really exciting. We actually changed hospital as well. We were at UCLH. We're now at the Homerton, which is slightly nearer. You need to be at your nearest hospital, I believe, if you want to have a home birth, but also Homerton are famous for the Homerton home birth midwives being amazing and awesome. So we're really excited. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about why we want to have a home birth, and then I'm going to take you through the stuff that we've got to prepare our home for a home birth and prepare me for a home birth, and the things that we're putting in place, assuming that we don't have very long to go. I didn't even think I'd get to this point, to 38 weeks, because Stan, our first, was actually born at 35 weeks, which is why it had to be in hospital. I was hoping for it to be a water birth in the birthing centre. But anyway, let's talk about this one. So we are, as I said, with the home birth team at the Homerton, who are amazing. Also, because we live in Hackney, there's something called the Hackney Home Birth Team, is it? It's basically a group of volunteers who do group sessions, so you can hear positive birth stories. At the moment it's on Zoom. I don't know if it's always on Zoom or if that's been a COVID thing, but there are regular Zoom catch-ups, I think, every month, where you can hear positive birth stories from other women. But even more importantly, they share birth pools. So they organise it so that free birth pools and all of the kit that you'd need with it are kind of rotated from family to family, which is amazing. They even do towel swaps. So we got a load of old towels from somebody. I'll get more into that, but we're really, really lucky that that's our situation, and that we get to do this with such amazing support. So that's that. Another reason why we'd like to do it at home, as well as feeling like the hospital birth made it trickier to give birth. Like, it's complicated. You grow up with the experience that, like, doctors and hospitals are the safest place to be if you need kind of medical support. The thing about birth is you're not ill, and there have been so many studies now, like the number of interventions that happen simply because you're in the hospital and you're with doctors, like inductions and cesareans that don't need to happen, and simply just being there after a certain period of time, there are, you know, there's a failure to progress, and so they want to induce you. It's just much more intervention than we want. And from learning a lot about hypnobirthing, this time round we did a course by the Positive Birth Company, which was amazing, that I'll link to them in the description box. But we've learnt so much about the science behind the whole thing, and why actually, for a second birth particularly, the kind of safest way and easiest way to give birth is at home without any interventions, and unless it's a particularly complicated birth. If it's a low risk birth and easy going, there's no reason not to do it at home. So we're going to try and do it at home. Obviously you can always transfer into hospital if you need to. I've filmed a what's in my hospital bag video already that I'll link up to, because even if you're aiming for a home birth, obviously having a hospital bag packed is smart, so that's all ready to go. It's less stuff than I would have if I was expecting to go to hospital and having a long stay. We were there 10 days last time, but yeah, that's all ready to go. what was I saying? I can't remember. But basically, oh yes, kind of like reasons for wanting to do it at home. We've settled on it feeling like the right thing for our family, because also Stan would find it really hard if we had to go into hospital and we're gone for a long period of time. Obviously in an emergency, that might be what has to happen, and that's fine. But our preference would be for the family to be able to be here and together, and to do it in like a really low key way in our own space, and that would feel really good to me. So I'd like to have a water birth. So as I said, we've got a birth pool. I will talk you through some of the kit. So if you're thinking about possibly having a home birth, one thing that seems to come up for people a lot, hi Mimi, this is Mabel the cat, you may have seen her pootling around in the background. People I think worry about the mess, and as I've done research, it seems like there doesn't need to be lots of mess as long as you get some things under control. So I have got the birth pool here. Birth pool in a box seems to be a really popular brand that loads of people use. This, as I say, has been provided for us, and we're going to test out pumping this up and make sure that we've got everything we need. It comes with a pump to pump it up, and then a pump that removes all of the water at the end once you've filled it. You buy your own hose and liner. So the hose is actually already in the bathroom, but this is the liner. So the liner just gets thrown away at the end. It covers the entire thing. And then you pump all of the water out at the end, and then you just fold it up, and any kind of gunk and bits that are in it just go in a bin bag out the door. So it's actually like, sounds like it can be really like clean and quite straightforward. But there are some things that you can do to just protect your home from getting wet or bloody or gross and all of the kind of stuff that can happen with birth. So we have got a tarpaulin for underneath the birth pool. I'm going to give birth in this area here. So we'll blow up the birth pool, and this will be underneath it to protect the floor from getting wet. We've also got lots of towels. As I said, they do a towel swap. I also bought some like cheap ones from Argos. So we've got a stack of about 8 to 10 towels. They say that, the midwives say, like it's really good to have lots of them, because you will want to get in and out of the pool potentially, so you kind of get wet and then dry and then need another one. You might want to lay them out on the ground on the tarpaulin so it's not like wet and slippy. You need ones for around the baby. You might want to actually have a bath in your own bath or a shower. So tons of towels is what we've been told is good. We've then also got a plastic dust sheet in case we want to put that over the sofa or anywhere else, because you don't know, kind of, I want to be able to like have covers and things for lots of things. So we've got a big sofa that's behind you, so that could be good for that. And then a thing that has been recommended that I've seen online that I think is really clever is, because often the way birth would work is hopefully I'll give birth to the baby in the pool, but then usually when you birth the placenta, by then you've gotten out of the pool, and you will either like lie down on the sofa or lie down on the bed. And so, and also you might just end up wanting to labour on the bed. Like, you want as many options as possible to be comfortable. So the trick is shower curtain, cheap shower curtains, cheap fitted sheet. So you have your bed with the sheet that you actually like. Mabel, what are you up to? She's in the Moses basket, which is not the best thing. I'm going to sort this out and come back to you. Woo! Mabel, come on, out you go. You're being silly. Come on. You can't be in there, okay? Right. Sorry about that. Mum life. It's not even that easy getting up and down. So you have your normal sheet on the bed as you would want that evening, because obviously, like, one of the best things about giving birth at home is you go to bed in your own bed. Like, you have your own tea and toast and snacks. I'll come on to snacks. And you're just in your own space. But obviously you don't want your mattress or your sheets or anything to get screwed up. So you have your normal sheet. You then use the shower curtains over that, and then you have a cheap fitted sheet that you put over the top so that the shower curtains are between the two sheets. you can then give birth to the placenta or labour on the bed and not worry if stuff goes anywhere, because the shower curtains will protect your sheet underneath and your mattress. And then when you're done, you just pull off the sheet and the shower curtains, roll them up, chuck them in a bin bag, and you're away. And then you've just got your made bed ready to go. So that seems like a really, really smart tip that we are doing. I have got a bucket here, by the way, with all of these things in it that's just sitting in the corner of the room ready to go, because I'm 38 weeks and it feels like that's a smart thing to do. And also psychologically, I think it's good for your body as well to know that you're ready. Like, I feel like you're more likely to go into labour if you feel like everything's ready. There's so many people who sort of say, oh, I just didn't go into labour until I bought that final thing that I knew that I needed. So I've got my bucket, but also the bucket is useful because if the pool gets colder, Dan can scoop some water out, chuck it, and refill it with some more hot water. But also the bin bags are good to just like, imagine if you ran out of bin bags that day, it would be so annoying, because you want bin bags to be able to chuck out the liner, as I was saying at the end, but I'll come on more to the birth pool in a minute. And just any stuff that you just want to get rid of, bin bags are good to have. Other things that my midwives have asked us to have, little sieve for scooping anything out that we might need to out of the pool, a thermometer for the water to check it's the right temperature, a handheld mirror, which I do need to put in here. It's in the bathroom at the moment, so I must remember to do that. This little torch. Apparently they can use the mirror to look at what's happening in your foof. See how things are developing when you're in the water. So they put the mirror under the water and then they shine the torch onto the mirror, but don't put the torch in the water. It's a little clever midwife manoeuvre. So they've asked for that. So all of that makes sense. And then also, as well as like having all of these plastic sheets and liners and things to protect the bed and the sofa and the floor, we also got these, which are basically like, they're incontinence pads, but you can use puppy pads or whatever. We lucked out actually, because these were £3 at the charity shop. So we've got a full bag of these, and they're basically, yeah, puppy pads. So you can put them down on anything and I'll be able to sit on it, even if I'm leaking amniotic fluid or blood or whatever. So that night I'll probably have some in the bed to sleep on, but by then I probably would have just put a maternity pad in. But it feels good to have these if I want to sit down somewhere that we haven't planned for me to sit down. We can just lay those out. So that's kind of all of the like taking care of the flat, covering things up so that it doesn't get messy. And again, like, just roll them up and chuck them in the bin bags. And then when it comes to the pool, we're going to test out blowing up the pool now, just so we like know what we're doing. As I said, it comes with 2 pumps. One is for actually pumping it up and the other is for sucking out all of the water. So we're going to test pumping it up now. And then, so again, the Hackney Home Birth team, who are awesome, who is this volunteer-led group who move the birth pools around everybody, also provide the 2 pumps. They provided the sieve and the thermometer, and they provide this bag of like tons of different tap adapters, but you buy your own liner and you buy your own hose, and the liner and the hose can both be binned at the end, but the hose needs to be completely like perfectly non-toxic and sterilized. So you run the hose basically from a tap or a bath with the adapters, and that's how you fill the pool. It takes about an hour to fill the pool apparently. So we're not going to test run filling the pool and get it all wet and get the liner wet, but we are going to test run pumping it up to actually like make it. So yeah, that's the plan. I will show you us doing that now, and then I'm going to talk to you about a couple more things like sound and music and lighting and snacks. So I will show you us having a little look at the pool now, and then I'll come back to you.
Box packing this?
Yes, let's do it.
You have 4 eyes.
No, I don't. I've got 2 eyes.
No, you have 4 eyes.
Oh, once you're there.
Yeah.
Are we a
Daddy,
totem?
Daddy.
A double-headed guy.
Ready to start?
Not yet, Daddy. We'll do
Look, two-head guy.
two-head guys.
I had two head guys.
Okay, let's go and unbox.
Yeah. Yeah. Open that box.
Stay back. Don't get bumped by the scissors. They're very sharp.
Very, very, very sharp.
And there should also be a mail bag that's got the hose and stuff in it.
Yeah. That's the nail bag.
I'll put this in the hallway.
What in the hallway? Open the nail bag. Bag. Open the nail bag.
Mail bag,
Nail bag. Not
Nail.
nail bag.
Careful, don't bump into the camera.
and then this is the hose and the liner.
Here you go, Stan. Can you take this out?
What's
Take
in?
this out.
These are the bits that connect up to the tap. And then there's two pumps. One's for pumping it up and one's to pump all of the water back out. So you have to work out which one's which.
Don't need to lay out the tarpaulin first.
No,
We're going to do it.
no, because we're not going to put any water in just for our test run.
I thought the test run was we're putting water in.
No, the test run is just that we're blowing it up and making sure it all works. Oh, so that's actually the liner.
I've already got the liar.
Stan, help me pull this apart.
Yeah.
No, don't touch, don't touch.
Stan, can you
Help me
stop
pull
going
this
close
apart.
to the camera, please,
Help
or
me
you
pull
can't
this
go
apart.
in?
Help me pull it apart. Unfold it. And that side, unfold it.
Shall I take rubbish and get rid of it? Shall I get rid of that rubbish as well? See that big
Really don't need it for the wrapping.
No,
I want to keep it.
No, I'll put it straight
Whoa.
back. Come on.
Look at this, Mummy. It's cool.
Really, really cool.
Really,
What
really
is this
cool.
in here?
Take it out. We might not need it. I think that's where the pump goes.
Daddy, that's where
Leave
the
it on
pump
one
goes.
side. So give it to me.
There's a little seat for me to sit on.
Thank you.
What's this?
This is a puncher kit, so that's good.
Okay.
Puncher kit.
That's cool. So now we've got a pump.
Liner.
This is the pump for the inflator.
These are the pumps.
I'm just sitting in it. I'm just sitting in it.
Okay, so Danny's got the right pump, the one for actually blowing air into it rather than pumping water out of it. And it's got a few different nozzles, so he's just working out which nozzle is the right nozzle for the... now he's blowing us with air. Which nozzle is the right nozzle to blow it up. We kind of just did it without reading the instructions and realised later that the best thing to do is to blow up the base and the seat first and then do this around. And he is actually doing the base now. It's one of those ones where, you know, like a kind of kid's rubber ring, you have to pinch it really, really hard to actually get it to blow up. So that's just a little tip if you ever have to do this. You have to really pinch quite hard. So he's blowing up the base and then he's going to use the larger nozzle for the holes on the side that you then twist. And there's like 3 rings. So you do the bottom ring, then the next ring, then the next ring. What he should have done is do the little seat. There's like a kneeling or sitting area that will be really nice, I think, when I'm actually using it. So he hasn't done that bit yet. But you can see now, we're excited, it's inflating. That's the bottom ring. And then you twist that and do it up. And then this is the next ring. So this bit like goes up really quickly. The base and the stall are actually kind of harder to fill than the big bits. So this is all very exciting. And you'd be like, think it's done now, but actually he's about to bend over the pool and realise he needs to put the other nozzle back on and try and do that seat. So that was the fiddly bit. So I'd recommend, as the instructions say, like do the base and the seat and then do the other bits. But it went up really fast. It was really straightforward.
Yeah.
Can you lift him in? No shoes.
Ready? Slide you over.
Put water in it.
No.
Here on your little seat.
Okay, so things we've learned already when blowing it up. You're supposed to put the liner on first. So when we do it properly, we'll put the liner on and then we'll blow it up. But it was really fast to blow up, wasn't it, Danny?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Pump's really good.
Pump's really good. There's a cup holder. There's a little seat for me to sit on. So the thing we need to remember is to just do the liner. And we're not going to test putting water in, but it takes about an hour to fill with water, apparently. So good job, EG. Team EG. What do you think?
To do the
Tell me what you guys are doing.
Look.
Am I telling you or is Dad telling you?
You've attached the hose for the
Figure out
birthing
the right
pool.
connector.
Okay, that's the connector we
I
need.
need us to open
And
it.
then what do we
Turn
do
on the
this
hot
time?
tap.
Yeah.
We connected this to the tap.
Yeah.
We turn it on gently, not too much. Help Daddy. Help Daddy.
Yeah, it was the
Look,
smoking
you can
that
see it
when
coming out.
and it was far.
Look, and it's not really leaking.
Awesome. That's so good. So what we'll do when baby Boo's on the way is we'll put the hose in the birth pool when it's pumped.
Yeah.
And then we'll be
You
able to
turned it
fill
off?
up.
Oh, Stan's turning it on and off again.
High five, Stanny Stan.
Nice work.
Yeah. High
Green tea.
five. High five,
I
Daddy.
need it to be more.
Nice work. Good testing, guys. So that was a really good test run. I'm really pleased with that. I feel quite confident that we know what we're doing now, as long as we just remember it. So it isn't actually, we checked the instructions, and it isn't that you put your liner on completely at the end. You pump up all the bits that we did except for the final one. So it's like there's the base, there's the seat, and then there's 3 rings. So the final ring you like half pump up, then you put the liner over the entire thing, and then you finish pumping up that final ring. So we know that now. That is what we'll do. As you've seen, Dan and Stan have worked out which adapter we need, and we've got all of that ready to go. So that feels really good, and we'll know to be able to use the other pump. So once it's full of water at the end and I'm done, you put the pump in the water, and the end, like if you live somewhere where there's like a drain outside the front, you can do it, but we're in a flat and we're not on the ground floor, so you can also just do it down the toilet. So we'll pump out all of the water, and then again, anything that's left in the liner can just all get rolled up and put in a black bag and binned. So yeah, that's all of that stuff. Now to talk about other things that kind of feel relevant to like making it a nice experience and how we want to do things. So I've got a speaker in the corner in this room. As I say, this is where I want to give birth, and we have hooked that, I mean that's hooked up to our phones anyway, but we've each downloaded the Freya app, which is the app that's from the birth company. I think it's like £2.49 or something, and it's really good because you can track contractions on it, or surges. But also the thing that I really like about it is it's got all of the MP3 recordings of like positive affirmations and different visualizations from the Positive Birth Company. And in my birth last time, I loved listening to hypnobirth recordings. So we'll be able to not just have that with me with headphones. I have got wireless headphones ready to go, and that's part of my hospital bag thing. But to be able to just have it playing in our own space will feel so nice to have that. Also tonight we're going to create 2 playlists on Spotify. One that's going to be like super chill music, and one that's going to be like songs that I really love and will fill me full of oxytocin. So the speaker I think will make a really big difference. Also in this room, if it's nighttime, like instead of using the main light, like we've got lots of little lamps around that create really, really nice light. So I know that if it's dark, we'll be able to just have like quite low mood lighting, which is really nice. The other thing that's on my list is just like a really comfy like bra top or bikini top to have, so that in the birth pool, if I want, I can have like my top half covered. I feel like I'd quite like to film some bits of the birth, which 4 years ago I would never have wanted to do that, whereas I feel like I've learned so much from watching other people's birth vlogs. If there's a way that I can do it that I feel comfortable with, it would be really nice to be able to do that. So we'll see. You may never see any of my birth, but it's possible that there might be some clips that I can like put into my my birth story video. So we'll see. But then the other thing is snacks. So I didn't eat for like 3 days before giving birth last time, because that's how it worked out. I wasn't very well. Again, you can watch the birth story. So this time it will feel really nice that we're at home. We can have all of the snacks that we feel like we would like. The cupboards are fully stocked with them now. And also because you've got midwives here for however many hours, like you need to be able to feed them. So we've got various different kinds of teas, like if they want herbal tea, we've got like proper builders, because all of my tea at the moment like is decaf. So caffeinated tea we've got. But then when it comes to snacks, I was looking at things that would be really easy to eat and not too unhealthy, but that would like feel like I actually wanted them. So I've bought some like packs of proper popcorn that's like the salt and sweet ones, so it's still really tasty popcorn, but it's not like really unhealthy. I've bought some like wholemeal crisps that are like really tasty crisps that are good for energy, but again they're like baked and they're wholemeal rather than being like really bad for you ones. I've frozen loads of grapes, so I bought a punnet of grapes and took all of the grapes off of the stalks and have frozen those because apparently that's really great. And I also bought some mini twisters because apparently like lollies are really nice to suck on when you're in labour in the pool, and I love twisters, and they're actually much lower calorie than most of the other ones, less sugar, more kind of fruit based, and they're just little. And I love pineapple, and they're pineapple flavoured. So we've got those. We've got loads of frozen fruit if I want to make smoothies. We've got loads of different kinds of nuts and seeds. On the more naughty side of things, we've got some hobnob bars that are like caramel and chocolate that sound amazing. What else have we got? We've got rice cakes with dark chocolate on them, which I thought I kind of would feel nice to like have something to bite on that's a little bit sweet but not too sweet. What else have we got snack wise? Oh, I got some prawn crackers. I felt like I really would want prawn crackers. I have no idea if I really will, but I'm just going for like whatever feels like. I'm like, oh yeah, that would be nice. I'm just going for it. And we'll have like tons of fruit and stuff like that ready to go. So that's snacks, that's music, that's lighting, that's the whole shebang, I think. So fingers crossed I will get to give birth in this room, or at least labour here for as long as possible. Oh, the other thing is I've got my birth ball, so that can be really nice like in early labour, like the bit before you get into the pool, to be on the birth ball and just like getting comfortable and getting into some like stretches and positions to help the baby come down. As I say, yeah, we'll be doing the hypnobirthing, and I've taken you through all of the stuff like to protect the floors and the sofas and the whatever. So I think that's it. We've also just been working really hard on like decluttering the flat and making this room in particular feel really nice and get it working really well for us, because it's my studio, it's our living room, and it's like the biggest play space, excuse me, and now it's going to be also where I give birth. So we wanted it to be decluttered and restyled and like working on lots of levels for us. So probably the next video you'll see after this one next week is the update, like how all of the transformations of what we've done in this room to get it ready for it to work better for our family and to be more beautiful. And I'm really looking forward to giving birth. We've done a rehang of the art, and it's just going to be gorgeous to be able to be in here looking at this stuff. We've always been really rubbish at having any photos of our family, and so I've also added some like photo frames and new photos. Well, not new photos, they're new in that they weren't here before, but like photos from our wedding, beautiful pictures of Stan and Dan, and like being able to look at those sorts of things and listen to the affirmations and have the nice mood lighting and have the snacks and just be in our own space feels really good and really exciting. So fingers crossed we get to be here for the whole thing. If not, I'll labour here for as long as possible and then transfer into hospital. And hopefully it won't be long till I'm in my own bed with my baby, and Stan can be here for as much of it as possible. So that's the plan. Thank you for watching. I hope some of this has been helpful, and I will see you in the next one. If you feel like subscribing or liking the video, that would be really nice. But take care. If you are pregnant yourself and nearing the end and excited about a home birth, then best of luck. I'm really thinking of you, sending lots and lots of love. You've got this. And I will speak to you soon.